Right, so it's been a while since I took this apart. So the question is, can I remember how it went together? The answer is no. So I'm just going to have to blag it a little bit. I think I will give this a quick clean because there is residual, if I just bring this in, residual grime from the corrosion. So we'll see how good I can get it. Back in a minute. Ta-da! So we're not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better than it was. So now we got them sorted. Put this to one side. I have bits that have arrived. These are incredibly difficult to find. Had to get them from America. So if anyone's interested in getting some of these original parts, I've got them on my eBay. I'll link it in the description. I've sold one set already, and I've only got 8 more. But if they sell well, I can just get them back in and see how we get on. So I may have to watch some footage back of me disassembling to find out exactly which go in where. So I will probably do that. Although that one clearly goes there. Oh, it looks like we've got little tabs as well, which is perfect. Right, I've got a feeling this is going to be a bit fiddly. So I will come back to you once we're somewhere near. There's a very long and boring story about these battery terminals. But basically there's a company, I think it's in Germany, that do them. But unfortunately they don't like the UK. So they only post to EU countries. So if you're watching from the UK, don't bother emailing them. You'll probably know which one it is because I believe it's the only one that comes up on Google. If you search for Game Gear battery terminals, and then there's one or two in America. So basically the one in Germany or wherever in Europe it is won't post it to us, so I had to import these from America. Hence why I did 10 of them, and I thought I'll just, you know, bang them on eBay and help a few other people out. So yeah, that's where we're at. They're fairly simple to put in. They are a bit fiddly, but once you get your technique going, it's a case of just sort of pushing it down from the top. I'll just try and take this one out again. No, that's pretty good, to be fair. Because if you can't get it back out again easily, that means it's snug fit. We'll try and push it across a bit. There we go. So yeah, and then literally push that back out because I just bent that pin. So they've got 2 little tabs, which isn't how they were originally. Originally they had like tabs that leant outward in the middle on the doubles. But I don't know that the singles had any tabs on them because they were held in place by solder. But like they're just like a hair too thin. But if you get them bang on right, I mean, it might be worth just putting a bit of super glue on them before you put them in, and then they'll never move again. But then you've got to soak it in acetone if you get a bit of battery corrosion. So here are our tabs sticking through. So now we need to move on to the putting these in and putting the wires in place. So yeah. Thought I had the terminals the wrong way around then. So yeah, we will see how this goes. So that one goes in there. There's my little melted connector that I did last time, unfortunately. Bit of a mistake, but what can you do? We all make mistakes, as they say. Right. I have got screws here and here, but for the life of me I can't remember where they go, so I'm going to have to watch my part 1 back just to refresh my brain. So, memory refreshed. I did just look across at my desk I've got here, and I saw these, which I also purchased for the power board. So I need to do the capacitors on here. Also, just if you're wondering, this sits here once you've screwed the board in, and you've got this in place as well, your power board, and then the cables go as follows. So that one solders to here, this one solders to here, this one to this one, and the next one, or the other one should I say, goes from that little terminal there to that top right hand terminal there. So now you know. We'll move this so we can work on the power board. Right, I wonder, is it going to be easier with the soldering iron or hot air station? Let's just double check that we've got these capacitors. 820 picofarads. Is that pico or micro? I'm not sure. So this is 820 and 6.3 volts, which it is, and the smaller one is 100 picofarads at 25 volt, which I'm pretty sure I'll get my big box of stuff out. I don't know what this one is. Well, that's 1,000. These are 1,500. They're 3,300. So we want 100, which is here. At 16 volts. Lovely jubbly. 25 volts. There's one there. Look. So I can do 2 main ones. That one and one of those. 2.2, 3.3, 4.7, 22. 25 volts. This is 35 volts. Let me just have a rummage. Okay, I don't have it. over 22, that is 20 volts, but it's a lot shorter. So for the time being, I'm going to leave it. I think this big one's probably the more important one, because that takes the bulk of it. So I will replace it with this one and our 100 next to it. I will replace with this one, which is also considerably smaller, but that's rated exactly the same, so I think we'll be alright with that one. Just get the iron on the go. My injection has stopped working naturally, so I'll try that at the end. And then those two. Should probably do this with a pair of pliers or tweezers or something, but there we go. One out. Two out. Right then. So I think what I'll probably do, just to make it easier for myself, oops, look out that, look out that, and look out these two. Lovely jubbly. Right, we'll give this a clean. Just with a little bit of IPA. And I'll clean that side. Show how any residual flux kicking around. Oh, that little Sega logo on the bottom of the board. Looks great. Right, let's stick these in. Okay, both in. Now they just need a little touch, a bit of solder. I'll get this quick wide, get the old stuff off. One, that's two, that's three, and last but not least, that's one. So there we go. Jump these back. There we go. Incidentally, if you ever wanted to do repairs on slightly thicker traces, they're good to keep. Right then. Oh, look at that. Even looks lopsided, just like the factory. I think I'll just straighten that up a little bit because it'll annoy me otherwise. There we go. And there we are. A bit straighter, so just trim that back again. Lovely jubbly. So, we'll bring this back in. Get rid of these. I might test these off camera and see what they were actually, whether they were good or bad or whatever. Easy as that. So now I just need to get the screws, pop these in. I also went on Vinted and got a Game Gear game so I can actually test it this time. So let me throw some screws in and we'll catch up with you in a second. Well, alright, so we've got our cables in, I've put this plate in, attached the boards. I remember to put this red thing in after I'd already screwed it down, obviously. I've just taken the old terminal that snapped off when I took it apart off. So what I'm going to do now is just a little bit of solder on these wires and hopefully they attach. So yeah, I think I may start with a little bit of solder on each of these battery terminals, see if we can get it to stick, and then just plug the wire on,
I realise that's a lot of flux, but hey, it's nearly Christmas, you know? So... Oh yeah, it's a good little block. What's going on with this soldering? Oh. I don't know why. It was down at 200. I was struggling a little bit. This has been at 450. There we go, that's better. Lovely. Some nice monster blobs on there. Last but no means least. Looks good. Now we'll just tack these wires on. One. Two. Three. And last but not least, that's one. Right, I'm sure you've all seen cleaning before, so I'll clean up the flux and come back to you. Okay. Momentous de truthus. Oh, I need to put this back somewhere. However, did that go on there? I'm not entirely sure where this went. There maybe? Needs cleaning. But first, I will leave that for later. I really want to test this, like really, really bad. So I'm going to test it, because hang on. So we go first with that one. Spring loaded cables. That one. Here's the one that I ever so slightly singe the connector. Interesting. I did try it on here. So it goes back on. Right, I can see the pins in there, so that goes on fine. So let's just pop that on there, like this. And then this is my vintage purchase, Columns game. Fits. Right, let me go find a bazillion batteries. Bazillion batteries found. So, is it going to come on? And if it does, is it going to work? Oh, well, it came on for about a second. Oh my god. What does that even mean? I have no idea. I'm going to have to start taking this apart again. So, as you can see, this is out. It wasn't starting up, and it was just showing, I think it was 0.027 watts. So what I did, basically this area of the board looks slightly corroded, so I've gone round with my super fine tip and basically touched all the connections on this area of the board. So hopefully, when I put it back together in a minute, it should work. But watch this space. I did test this, and that came out to 23.94 microfarads. So I was like, well, 10%, you know, that's all right. So it was a case, I think it was probably one of these regulators, or transistors, or whatever they call them. But, you know, I've pretty much been around every capacitor, every resistor, and every transistor on here, because they all look like they had corrosion. So we'll see. We'll see how it works. Give me 2 secs and I will put it back together. Alright, alright, alright. So, we are ready to go. Just need to put the last 2 batteries in. Right, that's them in. Glad it wasn't on already. I'll just ruin this horizon. Right. As you can probably tell, I haven't actually screwed it back together yet. Well, it's on for longer. Okay. What does that mean? Does this mean the screen's broken? Or is it just not loading? Oh, interesting. Turns off as soon as you take the cartridge out. I know everyone says you're not allowed to blow into them, but I don't care. Ah, interesting. Now the light doesn't even come. Okay. More work required, I believe. Okay guys, so I kind of got it working. This is very sort of janky, but if you hold it at that angle, the screen looks pretty good. So I think it's something to do with the screen feed, because when you look at it direct on, you can literally just see a faint outline, but on that angle, looks great. So yeah, not sure where to go with that, but it works. Okay guys, so that's it. I'm pretty sure it just needs a new cap kit. So basically just to run through what I've done there, where there was some slight corrosion on some of the solder, renewed the flux, put some new flux on there, and just renewed the solder by remelting it and making sure that all the contacts were down. The speaker, it's just like, you can see from here that it's a bit corroded. And once I've replaced the speaker, I will just give you guys another update, probably just a post on YouTube. But as far as I'm concerned, this is pretty much done. You saw the screen working. I might upgrade to the LCD screen. We'll see what the price difference is and how well the cap kit works. So yeah, pretty much done. I will say, if you want any of them battery terminals for the power board, I've got them on my eBay. I'll put the link in the description. It took me forever to find them, and to save you guys going to America and having to pay, I think it was like 20 quid postage or 15 quid postage. So yeah, I'll put the link in there, and then yeah, if you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, maybe drop us a comment on what you want to see more of, what you want to see less of, if I'm doing alright. Thanks a lot.